last week was absolutely busy. Over the weekend, I flew to Monaco with my wife. We went there without the kids, something we don't do that often. And it really allowed me some time to relax, to get away from my phone and stop thinking about the business all of the time. A group of us from Verifile went also to the Investors in People award ceremony. Verifile was shortlisted for Best Use of Technology. And although we didn't win the award, being shortlisted has meant a lot to us. It gave us a real sense of pride and achievement. Wow, so I'm not sure I grew up with heroes as such, but there were certainly individuals that have left a lasting impact on me. My biology teacher, for example, when a typical student studies 5 units for their major subject, she showed me that with a bit of push, I could do 9 units. And pushing the limit, especially when it really looks difficult, is what every entrepreneur will face. I don't really have a lot of day offs, unfortunately. As an entrepreneur, my mind constantly comes up with new ideas, things that we could do or should do for our business. But when I do have a few hours to rest, I will take a good book with me. I'll spend time with friends or with my family. Best piece of advice I've ever received, without a shadow of a doubt, is to stay focused. My mind is constantly buzzing with new ideas, and the main issue is always picking up the best to do. And when I don't follow that advice and I try to do too much at the same time, it often doesn't really work. Being able to say no is an incredible gift. If I had to choose one day that really stands out, I would have great difficulties picking between that first day when I walked into Cranfield for an open day and immediately felt at home, the day that later changed my life, to a day earlier this year when we won the Queen's Awards for Enterprise. It was such a special day that helped us celebrate the achievements that we have made in the last 15 years. Verifile is a background checking company. As a background checking company, what we do is we help organizations verify the identity and the credentials of the people that they want to do business with. That's what Verifile does. It takes out all the hard work of verifying the information and make it accessible to the employer for making quick decisions. Just 3 days before leaving home to join the Cranfield MBA, a story broke about a security driver who faked his identity to gain employment and then used it to commit robbery. That story sparked my interest in the dangers of lax recruitment processes, but it also lit passion in me for creating transparency in the workplace. If we are all about transparency about ourselves, about who we are, what we stand for, if the same organization would do as well, then trust will be given. Trust is fading away when that transparency doesn't exist. When people perhaps feel that the messages that they get are not as genuine as they should be. And what we do at Verifile is adding transparency to the relationships between employees and companies. Human resources and recruitment are two functions that are under extreme pressure to cut costs and improve their services. That brings them to introduce a lot of technologies so that they can achieve exactly that. Those technologies, unfortunately, also create a lot of friction, a lot of frustration among users. And what we will see over the next decade or so, as artificial intelligence become more stable and more capable, we will see introduction of conversational AI to simulate human interactions, and analytics AI to be able to make sense of the mountains of data that those systems are generating. And as a result of that, we will see an improvement in the service, we will see a reduction of the time to hire, and that will be a win-win for both the employees and the employer. I remember so much of it, like it was yesterday. I remember the walks, the 2x2s, the kitchen parties, the car that I bought and shared with the students, the presentations on Enzo Ferrari, the amazing staff and lecturers. I remember the home it made, the feeling of home it made to me, as well as the sadness when it all ended. But for me, the one thing that I remember the most is how I used the MBA to validate the idea for Verifile, to create a business plan. I used a lot of help from the students, from the lecturers along that process, until eventually 8 students have invested in me, in the idea, and helped me to make it happen. I also won the VCR award at Cranfield and the Association of Business School award, and that again helped me to build my confidence that this idea has legs. It's a really great honor to be recognized, especially when the recognition comes from your peers and from your mentors. And I'm ever so thankful for being picked, being chosen for this award. I really feel that I'm extremely lucky, and I would like to thank everyone for choosing me.